Hey, SBG Solution Based Gang, like, share, subscribe.
Happens.
Say no to rim,
Sure.
brothers, mothers, fear and sell no good suckers. Hype him up, hype him up. Shouts out Sharon Bracy and the Waters. Wake up morning show, salute, big dog. Shout out to the Lurk, PH, Diva, salute, Brownsville, SBG Solution Based Gang.
Let's go. Having technical difficulties, but we are going to get through it. It is what it is. This ain't our first rodeo. We've been through technical difficulties before. It's wild. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to get through it. Man, what in the world is going on? Is this what y'all voted for? Ni hao, my brother. What up, Toots? Too strong. Good day to you, CJ. Good day to you. Appreciate you so much. Let me see if this thing working out. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
All right. Shout out to Time Wasp with the 5 ball. Ni hao. Good day to you, my brother. Thank you so much. They say I am freezing just a little bit. Yes. Good day to you, Ms. J. Yes, I found my way home.
It's crazy, man. It's not big silly.
How about that? Let's see. Let's see if we go it this way. All right. I'm going to try it this way. So we trying it this way. Can y'all tell me, can you hear me well? I'm going to work on the quality of the camera as we move through it, but can you hear me fine? Am I coming through okay? I'm still lagging just a little bit. God damn it. Maybe. We figure out how I could maybe lower the quality of the video, something like that, too, so it could be a little bit. Let me see. Let me lower the quality of the video. Let me see. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. All right, go with this. All right. Okay, video lagging, audio clear. So today, since I'm doing all that, so maybe I'm gonna need my brothers and sisters to come and help me out a little faster because I am not understanding what the hell is going on. How is this all happening? Who voted for this craziness? Is it the Black MAGA supporters? Is this what you wanted? I want to know. Now argue as tooth and nail and saying, hey, if we vote the other person in, that we're going to have this war. Nobody's going to respect them. America. I want to know. They keep telling me to wait. Just be patient. Peace. For this is to understand. Why were you so hard-headed? Well, we just laid out the facts. Why was it so difficult to understand the facts? If you still vote for Donald, if you still rocking with, I want to understand why. I want to understand why you still support it. I want to understand, do you support this straight up Hummus thing? Because it doesn't seem like it's working. Spirit Airlines been in business. Somebody tell me what's going on. Maybe Peace No or Peace Zion. Maybe Peace Zion can hit the link today and explain to me how is this straight up Hummus situation is helped 7,000 people lost their job because of a war. A war about what? What is it could possibly be next? Let me drop this goddamn link because somebody's going to explain to me. Not only that JetBlue can possibly some very strange things on how they are attempting to decide what kind of money they're going to be trading with. It sounds like they are trying to get rid of the U.S. petrodollar in the UAE. What is going on? We have our blockade there, true. How has it benefited? So if we lose 2 airlines within 1 year, how is that good? We are losing in the farmers world, right? America is not doing good on this farmers market situation. What is it that we are going to do? Can somebody that is a Donald Trump supporter please come up and explain to me, how did we get here? Or do you want to talk about the Met Gala? Or should we talk about the Met Gala? Maybe Oak Street could come up and let me know what's going on. Because a business that been in making billions of dollars for 34 years just closed because of that shows how small these margins are. People not really understanding how small margins are. It is that simple. Just this little situation of a war destroyed a 34-year business. Done, gone, off the map. That's crazy. That one thing. And this is why when we was having a conversation before, a long time ago, when everything was in the running, when all these black MAGA supporters, when they say, what do you have to lose? You could lose a whole 34-year old business. Then, I did see a couple of these black MAGA supporters. They tried because of the people that was flying in and out. Hey, listen, it don't got nothing to do with that. It got everything to do with policies. We told y'all from the first term that he is bankrupting businesses in America. Why are y'all supporting that? When we showed y'all last time that he is bankrupting farmers, y'all was like, we don't care if we lost $9 billion in the that farm. And then now we move on to 2020. Guess what is happening today? How much is beef? Beef is going up because farmers can't. What? They got to figure out some kind of way to fall into the consumer hands. And see, we understand that some people like Ronnie don't understand how this situation with Spirit Airlines is way bigger than your talking point of it being a ratchet airline. I don't even know why people even think about saying that it's a ratchet airline. Just because it's cheap, it gives people a way to travel throughout the country. That is what is important. What people not actually realize, because so let me help y'all out. If they getting rid of people like the Spirit Airlines, will help people throughout United States move around domestically. Thank you. I'm trying to work it out. Sometimes it is what it ain't working good. I don't know. Maybe I downloaded too much stuff on the computer. Maybe you can hear me. How about I do this? Since pixelation is bothering y'all. So, I don't really get it. And the link is dropped. I believe the link is there. Let me make sure, because I'm having issues with getting into other things, so I cannot pin it at the top. And thank you so much, Zion. Thank you so much for acknowledging that. We understand. But I guarantee you won't hit the link and explain to me how has your vote worked good for the American people so far. We've seen job loss after job loss. For some reason, people that are in support of this man or this regime, they are afraid to actually have this man, even though we understand what is going on. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to be one of the people that's going to be stuck. No, that has nothing to do. And the issue is to attain a real conversation. They would talk about everything else besides, they actually having a real issue. Good day to you, Corinne. That's when you know that they are losing the argument horribly. They are losing sight of what it is horribly. So what it looks like is happening to me, if people keep on ignoring all of the things that are in your face, we're going to be put in a situation where only the rich people are going be able to travel throughout the states. So if we keep allowing this thing to happen, right? Spirit Airlines is the very first example. Gas was the very first example. People in LA cannot afford to be able to travel out through their own city. Now also down after 34 years. Guess what? Travel. And if it keeps going down that line, only rich people will be able to travel out through America. So while people want to make jokes and not talk about what has actually happened, don't want to hit the actual, let's have a conversation about what is going on. They want to just throw out BS insults. It's just very weird for me to hear people act as if they don't care about poor people, like they are all the rich ones. Why is it so difficult for men, especially my brothers, to just be honest about what is happening today? Why you can't have a real conversation about what is going on? You can't buy food. You ain't gonna buy gas. You can't fly to your. Ola, I'm sorry. This is not the same thing that happens every 3 years. No, this is not the same. It is not the same at all. Not even close. He.
Oh, the sound also on and off. Nothing. Yeah.
And so another thing people should be concerned about. I don't know if they're paying attention because maybe too many people are concerned with the Met Gala. Maybe don't actually care until it's on their doorstep. Maybe too many people are just trolling on it about anything what's really happening. Because we know most of these people are just trolls on the internet. They don't actually care a damn about nothing or nobody. A lot of them been clinically diagnosed. $13 in LA for some gasoline is crazy. Double-digit gas is crazy. But the UAE is possibly deciding. They are flirting with the option to not use the dollar anymore. So that is affecting everything. It's absolutely water, my brother. This is water. This is water for sure.
About to be a situation.
Shout out to Kudu live streaming with the Fireboy. Gas is nationally at $4.20 a gallon. Minimum wage is still at $7. Give me an extra a year in gas. God damn. That's ridiculous. Shout out to Aaron Toulouse with the Fireball. F Spirit. They charged me $100 for a book bag with heels on it. They are trash. I understand your pain. I understand your pain. However, places like Spirit Airlines, Frontier is probably next, Southwest, and JetBlue is on the next chopping block. They were very important because they allow people to move domestically through to catch flights and get to places in a timely manner. Not reading the goddamn is that eventually we are not going to be able to afford to move out our own states. They're going to start to say, hey, listen, we have a shortage. So only certain people with certain IDs is going to be able to get gas. That's the bigger picture. They already understand how we can move without leaving anywhere. They know how to keep us in the house now. They know exactly how America would act if we had to stay inside the house. It is 9:38, Uda. It is 9:38. Oh, I know we're a day ahead. That's what I do know. Right, Miss J. That's what I'm trying to get these people to understand so they can start understanding how things are moving. So this we have to lose. Clearly, we have everything to lose. We have everything to lose. We have our right to travel to lose. Nobody thought about, hey, we might be losing airlines. 7,000 people might lose their job. Thought of that. Nobody thought that, damn, gas could go up to $13 because of this. Nobody was thinking like, hey, I might have to make a decision. Do I need to eat or buy some gas? Even though we told you all these red flags that they had before, we was like, hey, listen, there's a lot of things that's going on. And so for all of the black magazines, all the Stephen A's of the world, that's saying that we should switch to Republican. Tell me what have we got from it? Where is the benefit? And Spirit Airlines also had a whole bunch of black folks as well, too. Oak Street, the gas in LA today is $10. So, okay, so it went down to now in 2026. What's the gas? Well, Oak Street, put it in the goddamn super chat, or you can hit the link. Got no time to be catching every goddamn chat. Say it again. So yeah, you could say F both parties, nothing to the game from both parties. But one thing we know for sure, and we was with the other party, and we would have voted the other way, most likely we wouldn't have lost no goddamn 7,000 jobs just a couple of days ago. We wouldn't have been firing all these people because of DEI and all this other situations. We wouldn't be firing 4-star generals. We know all of these things would not be happening. That's crazy. Shout out to Udo filling up the Maybach. We cannot agree with that at all. One thing for sure, Aaron Tulu, because we cannot say that we would have been in a worse position than we'd have went the other way. That's just crazy talk from what we understand now within 1 year. What up, CJ? Good day to you, sir. The fact that it seems like it seems like a lot of people just do not care. People, a lot of our people use Spirit Airlines so they could go see their family members and travel out through the United States. Barrel of is $111 right now. What are you talking about? You a couple of dollars off. Not only that, we cannot look at a company that's been in business for 34 years. And then something happens with a leader, and then that company have to close its doors after 34 years. A couple of people that I know that just happened to go to Miami, happened to go to other states. They flew Spirit because they wanted to hop on a quick flight, quick, fast, and in a hurry. They hopped on a Spirit, left their hometown, hopped on a flight, and now they stranded because now the goddamn place closed down. Kulashrin said if Kamala was president, there would be no Iran war. The Strait of Hormuz would be open, no BS terrorists, jobs happening. And then we cannot see past that. Oh, Spirit is been for 34 years is more important than saying that Spirit had ratchet customers and it was only people flying to Miami and what. It is much bigger than it being a ghetto or ratchet airline. What's more important that ghetto ratchet airline been in business for 34 years, and now that it is not, 7,000 people has lost their jobs. Once again, another big loss in America's economy. That is the real concern that people need to understand, like, hey, it's not necessary. It doesn't matter what airline it was. Any airline that had to close its doors suddenly like that because of a one situation, that is a problem. JetBlue is birds of the same situation. We got to be able to get up out of there. So y'all are not understanding that, hey, gas prices up. That is going to limit how people travel throughout the states. Number two, they got rid of the first cheapest airline. That's the number two problem. They're going to keep on moving forward with getting poor people to stay their ass in one area, and this way the rich could do whatever they need to do. They're going to say, hey, listen, we are running out of gas. You're going to have to get a goddamn gas card next. They're going to say, how much gas you bought this week? I ain't leave that, goddamn it. I don't know what the hell just happened. I don't know. But I do know it's a lot of people that still, I know it is still, you can hear me now? Thank you. Yes, we back. We ain't letting it, we ain't stopping. We ain't letting nothing stop us, god damn it. They're afraid. I think a lot of people are just afraid, and that's why they're afraid to actually have the conversation about what is going on and what they are actually saying. And this is why they allow themselves to be, want to talk about, I guess, gossip It's just, I don't know. Okay. Aaron Toulouse says Spearman went bankrupt already before this. They had bad management and a terrible business model. And they nickeled and dimed. So they definitely did nickel it down because they model was this to get you in the door. So they got you in the door with cheap tickets, but they charge you for everything. They charge you for the goddamn air. They did nickel and dime. That was their idea, to get you on the goddamn airplane and then make you pay for everything else. I get it. Yeah. Struggle streaming like a motherfucker today.
See, the sound was good with the video.
Hmm?
When the video, the sound was good.
With the
I
oh
don't know.
yeah. And I really believe majority of people that's on that is matter. They just want to punish black folks. That's what I actually believe. I think a lot of people don't mind punishing. I think they don't mind as long as black folks are the ones getting punished. They actually don't mind. That's what I think is happening. That's why they don't really care that Spirit Airlines is going down the way how it is, because they believe Spirit Airline is real life soul plane. They actually believe that Spirit Airlines is the black airline because that's where most black folks fly out of. That's what I think people don't really actually give a damn. This is why I think people don't actually give a damn. That's why like, oh well, they almost went. This is, you know what I mean? So many billion-dollar companies go not too long ago. So to act like if only Spirit Airlines, most of these companies, like I get it that we like to just try to frame it as if everybody else is just doing so much something better than what the Democrats attempting to at least maintain. Make sure, shout out to everybody. Make sure you drop the link for me because I'm having issues with dropping the link as well. But the Democrats want to at least hold on to status quo. That's the most important thing, right? That we hold on to at least the status quo. Maybe they wasn't going to lift us up any higher, but they damn sure wasn't bringing us down. Lady D, that's what it seems like to me. Thank you so much, Ms. J. And then, so what y'all gonna say if JetBlue becomes next? And thank you for everybody that is helping me out and dealing with me through the struggle stream. I know the quality of the visual is not as the same as it usually be. So thank you for everyone. It's been a rough day. Got lost. I'm tired. So thank you everyone for dealing with my struggle streaming right now. But this is also the problem that people like Trigger Mike, Killer Mike is having as well, right? Killer Mike, he was saying all that other nonsense as well. He was the one that was going against the Democrats at the time when Trump was running for office as well. And then now he see this whole rewriting the districts. It's a problem. This whole rewriting the Civil Acts districts of voting and all these other things that is going on, it's a problem. They are trying to make it a little strange out here for voting nowadays. Again, what are you going to get from the Republican Party is all I want to know. Detroit Coalition, they don't hear me though. They don't want to hear the truth. The truth of the matter is that they're making it more difficult to fly domestically, and they're going to make it more difficult to fly listen, it's going to get difficult. How's the light? Because I can't even see where the light's at. Well, and the link is in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's here. Make sure you're hitting that like and the share button. This is how we build our sides together. It is what it is. It is what it is. If it's lagging too terrible, maybe I will have to drop and try to reset everything and come back. I'm not sure. So Aaron to Lucas, what I'm trying to get, I think the main problem is that people are not understanding why like this is a important situation. Is it too difficult? Like, am I too choppy? Is the visual too choppy? What is it? Should reset? All right, we're gonna come back in like 10 minutes or so.
Nothing wrong with being. Let me.
I'm not sure what is happening. Are we live? Or... Are we live? It says that we live.
No, you're good. And the camera, everything's good. So
I'm not sure what the hell.
So it always, yeah.
It looks better?
No, it's good. It's perfect now. You gotta make sure that you can. Okay. Yay. You're welcome.
I don't know. All right. So I don't know what was going. Hey, but now we can have the conversation. Hopefully, I'll come. You know how? You know what? Maybe I didn't start off this show properly. Hey, you know how I like to start the show. When I say good day to you, you make sure you say it back and say good day back, because I could feel that great productive energy. Okay, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all so much for going through it with me. Hey, we working, goddammit. Hey, it is what it is. So now that we got that part corrected, thank you so much, Huda. Thank you so much, too, Sean. Shout out to y'all, man. I really appreciate it. The link is somewhere in the chat. I'm not sure where it's at, but I'm sure the link is somewhere in the chat. Y'all can drop the link. Y'all can come up. We can have a discussion about what the hell is going on in the world. Why this Spirit Airlines should be an eye-opener for most people and not just say, hey, Spirit is a bad company or Spirit was doing bad business. Hey, other companies might be following the same situations. You know, for example, JetBlue might be following that same example of closing the doors because they are $1.7 billion behind. JetBlue is right next to them. And with this whole situation with the oil and the Strait of Hormuz, the thing that it is creating. Damn. Let me see how this part is working. Shout out to Time Watch with the 5 says, I apologize for me. Decision on Trump. Damn. Well, at least somebody is starting to at least recognize their bad decision making, right? And he was hoodwinked. He was bamboozled. He didn't know. He thought he was making the right decision, but at least his eyes are open. Welcome to the show, Shadow the Time Was. Let me see if I can hear you. Are you coming through clear? What up?
Yeah, you're coming through clear. I see you clearly.
Okay, awesome. I was going through it, man. I was saying.
I apologize for my outburst.
Yeah. Hey, Shadow, I think it's kind of crazy. Why you think people are not willing to just admit that, hey, man, like this thing is more serious than just Spirit Airlines closing, but it is a 34-year-old business that is closing. 7,000 people lost their jobs, and this is possibly just the beginning to what is coming if this thing doesn't end anytime soon.
I mean, Spirit, I kind of saw coming. A lot of people saw Spirit coming, but not like it did. This was kind of a sudden shift. But Spirit's been trashed for years. But yeah, like I was getting gas on Sunday, and it was $5.15 a gallon. All I could think was, "Fuck, Kulu's gonna look me in the face and laugh."
And also I'm saying that, hey, this is just a beginning warning. So yeah, so we can have and try to mask all of our fears with saying that Spirit was just bad at business and they've been bad for years. Is their second bankruptcy. We could mask all that and say that. However, it is much bigger problems that is going down the line as we can see it. So if gas is gonna, so what's that's gonna do? That's gonna limit the way how people move. Now we also get airlines are closing up because they cannot maintain their cheap prices because of gas, right? So that is another way how you're going to limit people's transportation, especially poorer people's limit to transportation. They already know how we move and act, and we have to stay inside the house. They know this already. So they might, hey, we don't know what people will make any excuses if they just want to believe anything. They would say, hey, listen, we are not going to say we need martial law, but we need some kind of law where we are trying to keep our gas in the reserves. We don't want people just buying gas willy-nilly. They're going to want people to slow down buying gas. They might tell people, Shadow, hey, you need a goddamn gas card, and you're going to have to say how much gas you put in your car a week, because you can't be going too goddamn far. If you use up your gas for the week, guess what? You're going to have to park for the rest of the week until next week.
Are we going for communism?
Hey, listen, as I understand it, hey, it ain't that bad. Unless you're in Cuba. Cuba looking crazy right now. Not only that,
it's wild. It's wild.
Not only that, right? Like, I think people need to just start seeing the writers on the wall. Like, all these beginner step to things, they lead to bigger problems. Like when we first would say, hey, the DEI is going to lead to bigger problems. Nobody was like, oh, no, you crazy. They find every excuse in the world to say that we was crazy, Shadow. And then what happened? A 4-star general get fired. Right? We can say, hey, listen, this man is all about power, and this man don't really goddamn care about the people. He's not really caring about the economy the way how he says do. Farmers are gonna. What happened with all the beef prices? Did they go up? Beef is ridiculous.
Yeah, beef is ridiculous right now. I think I bought like a 5-pound bag of 98% lean ground beef for like $32. I was like, God damn, I don't think I've ever spent that much on beef before.
So and this is one of my main arguments when we was trying to just compare the two candidates. Like, hey, listen, the last time he did his thing with his whole tariffs and what he did to the farmers, it caused a price jump. It caused farmers to close down. And guess what? People looked at me like I was crazy. Oh, well, they can't compete and they're gonna have to close up their farms. They don't know how to do business. So what? Same thing with Spirit. They saying the same thing. Hey, if Spirit is bad business, they don't know how to do it. They gotta close. So what? Now people can't buy no goddamn real beef. I don't know what kind of beef they're gonna start catching pigeons out this mug. Shadow, they gonna be
catching grown pigeons and pretending it's beef. That's crazy work. I'm going with you,
All I'm saying, the writing on the wall is there. Like, why are the people not just saying, hey, listen, it's something that we need to pay attention to. Hey, beef is up, gas is up, business is going out. There's plenty of business going out. Hey, in New York City, is absolutely ridiculous what's going on to businesses out here. Hammered.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of businesses that have been forced to shut down just because they can't do the logistics now.
Right, because everything is so tight in the first place. We can't afford all this extra gas prices and this price. If beef is going up for us, you think it's not going up for the goddamn store that's selling the restaurants? What they gonna have to do?
Oh no, their prices are increasing. You can see it month to month now.
Like, I mean, it's the same price to go to McDonald's as it is to go to a regular restaurant.
Yeah.
That's insanity. And people are acting as if they don't want to see it. They have a blind eye to everything that is going on. Nah, Sharon, you tripping. Towers ain't gonna, the word towers, it seems like it is. Oh, this war now, we're just gonna blow it up in 3 days and we're gonna turn it into a glass desert. That's all.
That's what I said. Look, I apologize for my outburst. I see where So, look, I voted for Trump. It is what it is. I understand where that mistake was. Brownsville's going to come up at some point, and he's going to be like, finally, the brother saw it. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, that's awesome that at least you can see the writings on the wall, right? And they're able to express the writings on the wall. Also,
I can't see any positive. Like, I can't see any
can't.
positive now. Like, there's no positive to him being president this term. Everything that he gained has reverse track and then gone deeper. He's literally digging a hole now.
You give me some thoughts on that. What you mean?
Think about it. The economy is now in a backwards climb. Food prices, backwards climb. All right, the amount of wars that we're in, even though we haven't fully said we're in a war, quote unquote, we're literally being treated as if we are. So that's dead. So everything that he said we wouldn't do, the only thing that's actually been kept on is the promise for the taxes that were in the big beautiful bill, which again, those are effective now. But even that doesn't make up for the fact that when that people are losing jobs faster than they're making overtime. So the unemployment rate is up. Everything that Trump ran on is failing right now.
That's wild.
Except for bringing the immigration issue, but then he started selling those, which I guess help the same thing. But you're like, we're gonna reduce immigration, and then hey, I'm gonna start selling these immigration tickets to anybody who can afford it though. Then you're not reducing immigration, you're just selling it. That's not the same sentence. So I don't know.
And where's all this extra money that he said was going to be coming in for these tariffs?
It's going into the gas reserves.
Because somebody just said, "Oh, nah, the tariffs helped." Helped what? Where and what did it help? That's what I'm a little confused about.
But hold on, I am gonna say this though, and this is something I'll stand on. A lot of our gas issue right now, the reserves, I still put back down on Biden because he sent a lot of oil to Ukraine, which was our backup reserve in case something like this happened. And now we don't have that oil that we should have had. So Biden and Trump are at fault for that. Trump for being an idiot and Biden for being an idiot.
Damn. And also, like you see what's going on too. Like we got the UAE, man. They flirting on not using the petrodollar. And if that starts to happen, we gonna really be in trouble if that starts to hurt us.
Right, because the USD is the prominent trading mechanism of the entire planet. But for 85% of civilized cultures.
And the reason why that is scary, even that they even thinking about, they even flirting with it, that is they saying it in a public where now it is a conversation that I don't think people understand how important that is, right? You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, that was like blasphemous to say something so crazy like that, because a missile might just happen to drop somewhere and you say something like that out loud before.
Bro, and it's worse because remember, I trade currency. So I've been looking at the currency market recently. I'm telling you, I'm watching the trends, and some of these trends are bottoming out. The USD being compared to other currencies, we're dropping, not just at a iffy rate, but at a consistent one.
A consistent rate, and that's the scary part. And what they need to understand is that for a long time, people is using the petrodollar, right? And they not understand how oil is a real commodity, and our paper is not a real commodity, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's not backed by anything. That is a scary thing. So you essentially selling a real commodity for a, dare I say it, a made up one? Something that we could just say, you know what? If we want to, we could just put another $1 billion. We could just print another $1 trillion if we wanted to. So therefore, it's a scary thing when you really think about how things are supposed to move. People need to wake up and understand what is actually happening. Welcome to the show, ADS. Good day, sir. How you doing? What is your thoughts?
Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Shadow. How y'all doing today?
Good day
What
to
up?
you.
Good day to you, sir.
No, I was going to talk about the Spirit thing, right? Because I worked with them for a minute in 2022.
Okay.
And they were trying to sell to JetBlue at the time when they hired me in, right? As a cloud solutions architect. And I was like, uh-oh, this doesn't sound good to me to stay here for too long, right? Because they already trying to sell, you know what comes with wholesales, especially when it comes to businesses, right? They eliminate a lot of those positions almost instantly. So I went back to what I do now. Thank the Lord it was still available. And that's how I make my money. But Spirit paid, I mean, they paid pretty well. I give 135K. You know what I'm saying? That's not bad. You can live on that, eat on that, do a couple vacations if you want, but the catch with that is that they want me to move down to Miami. I forgot the name of that place down there close to Miami where they were talking about they were located. Gosh. But yeah, man, working for them was actually pretty nice. It was decent. They were really cool. Like I said, the only reason I didn't keep the job at the time is because I didn't move to Miami, right? But great job all the way around. Kind of sad to see them go out like this, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean the cheap flights were good for everybody. I mean, you couldn't buy anything, but if you talk about local flights, an hour flight, 2-hour flights, perfect, right? $60, perfect.
And why do you think so many of the Black MAGA supporters are in like damn near in celebration that this is happening? It's very close to a celebration from what I've been seeing. And saying that the Ratchet airline is closed and these hot girl summers gonna have to figure out a new way. Like, what is your thoughts?
The same thing with progressives, obsession with the opposite sex and what they're doing, policing people's bedrooms, right? If that is the case, which is none of your business, unless you're with the girl anyway, don't matter. I mean, so it's just like, ain't no use in putting all these stipulations on something you're not gonna be able to get anyway, right? It's like saying I gotta get a Lambo, it's gotta be black and pink. I gotta have some type of rims on it. I gotta have a system in it, and you can't afford a Lambo. What's the difference? Daydreaming, right? Window shopping all day. So
it's just a real. I think it's for me, ADS, before I bring in Ruthless Truth into the conversation. Also, we got Lady D. Thank you so much. The party that I voted for, it feels damn good to not be responsible for anything that is going on. I feel you, baby girl. I feel you on that because, man, it's very difficult to see the positivity of what's been going on in the past year. What's your thoughts on that, ADS?
I've been doing well, brother, flourishing and thriving this year. One of the best years on record by far. You know what I'm saying? Not just financially, but just in life. My life has been easy and, bless the Lord, good. Right? I can't find. I still can't find it. No. Let me get off. Let me get off. I still can't find a decent girlfriend. I ain't got no girlfriend. I've been single over a year now. But life has been pretty decent. But that's the part that disturbs me. It's like, damn, I ain't never been like single like this. You know what I'm saying? Like out there, right? But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Making the best of my situation. Like I said, got a great job. Go to the gym every day, work out. I guess this is, this has been a great season for me. But it also feels like more preparation for the next season, right? Like they say, you got to put some nuts up in your storehouse. You know what I'm saying? That way you got nuts later. Pause, but something like that, right? Squirrely. But but it is what it is, though, right? I mean, I think a lot of brothers don't know what they're feeling when it comes to a lot of this type of stuff. Watching Black women fail, this, that, and the other. The goal wasn't for them to fail necessarily because they have a lot riding on the line too, right? There's a lot riding along for Black women because they got families, they got children. No matter how they got here, they're still here. Somebody got to take care of them. You know, right? So putting them out of job also puts those children at risk. You know, right? That's one thing I don't like, especially with the cutbacks to certain aspects. Now, as far as like other stuff though, quality of life for me, like I said, it's been great, but I don't like to watch others suffer. I think a lot of brothers didn't understand the goal. And I'm gonna drop off of this because I got a meeting, Sharon. I'm gonna let you have it. The goal was to get black women in line. It wasn't for them to actually be out in the cold and fail. If that was your goal, you just wanted to do harm anyway, right? You just want to see it's revenge. You know what I'm saying? It's not correction when it's revenge. When it's revenge, it's not correction. So
that's a great point, man. A lot of from what we see online, especially, it is more revenge than correction. They want to say, see, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you that this was going to happen? Didn't I tell you that Trump was going to win and that he was going to start making this a real man's world where you're going to be punished for being a woman because they're going to take away certain rights from women. They're going to take away certain jobs from women. They are going to punish and punish and punish. Yes, child, no matter how much you twist up your face. This administration figured out different ways to affect people without saying it directly. I'm pretty sure Spirit didn't really think that, we was gonna close up shop after 34 years because he fired a goddamn missile. But guess what happened? I'm pretty sure JetBlue then said, hey, we might be on the brink next just because he fired a missile.
No, it's a combination.
I'm pretty sure Spirit Airlines did not think because he fired a 4-star general that they was going to have to close up their business after 34 years. ADS.
This is a combination of both administrations. That's one thing you're not calling out, Shawan. Now, you got to call out on both ends on this one, right? The gender banging thing might be one thing, but on this one, it's a whole nother. I was there when they were negotiating with JetBlue about the merger, right? Like I said, that's what scared me away from Miami. You know what I'm saying? Is that you're in the middle of a merger and you just hired me in. I don't want to be a part of the guys who get laid off almost instantly, right? And taking the job. And the Biden administration blocked it. They said it was too big of a merger, right? Well, the Trump administration didn't give them the $500 million either. So it's a combination of both, because right now, if Spirit would have been under JetBlue like they were supposed to be, we wouldn't be having this conversation. All those people still have jobs. Well, a lot of those people still have jobs, right? And things will still be moving along smoothly.
Well, I'm not sure we can say that because JetBlue is about to close up shop too. They 1.7 billion behind the ball as well.
Yeah. I know that as well. But the merger would have kind of quailed that, because now they own the market on cheap flights for the most part, forcing Delta and United to drop their prices as well a little bit lower, right? I mean, for local flights, I always like Spirit because, like I said, it's an hour flight. It's $60. I can hop and go. I can go any place I want to go.
Flight, yeah.
Well, hour and a half, 2 hours. Gets to 2 hours and some change. I go to Delta or United because I'm gonna want something to eat and something to drink. So I just buy it in the ticket. But
yeah, I agree with that. When I went to Miami one time, I hopped on a Spirit flight. It wasn't bad because it wasn't long. It wasn't a long flight, so you're not on it long enough for it to be a bad airline.
Exactly. And let's just keep it real, man. How many people have been to LA? How many people have been to California, right? On Spirit Airlines, because that's the only flight they could afford. You know,
right.
$400 both ways is a lot different than paying, what is it, almost $2,200? Yeah, it's something like that, right? Hey, Sharon, I might be back up. I got to drop. I got a meeting. Good talking, brother.
Appreciate you. Welcome to the show, Ruthless Truth. What is your thoughts, my brother?
Americans are soft. Y'all soft, nigga. We at war. Man up. Man the fuck up. Y'all got to sacrifice for this country.
By the way, Ruthless Truth, that is $2 for every F-bomb, so you owe me $2. That's number one.
Man, look at you. You know different than Trump. You know different than Trump.
that might be true, but we got to try to maintain, because YouTube is being strict. So it's $2 per F-bomb and $2 per N-word, all right?
All right, I'll take care of you.
No doubt. I appreciate that. And so now the issue that I have with it, Ruthless, is that it got businesses closing up because of this situation. Business that's been around for 34 years. We got farmers losing their farms. We got beef, $34 a pound. We got gas. You can't even travel the way how you want to throughout the country because now you got to worry about you're not going to be able to eat because you're going to have to buy gas. So, you know, I get it that we can say toughen up, but we cannot say toughen up if it's going to make us starve.
Well, I'm sorry. I hate to say it. Y'all ain't bigger than the program. They're taking over countries, wiping them out for their resources. And this is the program. What y'all gonna do? Cry about it? They ain't finna go check them. They military too strong. They'll wipe you out. So this is what it is, right? When you're in a part of a corporation that is, and you got a lot of power, a lot of resources, they get greedy. They want more. It's an insatiable appetite. And it ain't just Trump. It's all the Republican Democrats are obviously with it, or they impeach him, right? They get him out of there. But they're obviously with it. They're not going to come out and say it. But they're with it. They low key, the Republican Party, Trump is doing what the Republican Party is proud that he's doing. Because it's not that it's very uncommon. All Republican presidents go to war since I've been living. I've never seen a Republican president that didn't go to war. Bush, you name it, right? So when you voted Republican, I'm sure you had to understand that they're warmongers. They won't take over things. They want to take over the world. And as Americans, you have to saddle up, adjust, cut some things, because the greatness this country exudes, you're part of it, whether you in bad shape or not. You're part of it, and you're growing, and you're enjoying the even better lifestyles in other countries. It is what it is. So, you know, I'm like this. He's the man they put in there. They put a gangster up in there, and you know, and he's doing gangster stuff, right? This is welcome to reality.
Damn. So so now that you said that, that's fine. And I think most people can agree with most of the things that you said. Do you agree with the way how he is moving the country as of right now? That's the question.
Yeah. I mean, if I was in his position and the Republican Party told me, look, we need you to do this, and you know, I like war. I like violence.
But hold on. So you said, hold on. So let me understand. So you saying that if you was in a position, whatever the people told you to do, you'll just do it blindly.
The Republican, well, that's the only way. That's how the Republican Party and the Democrat Party rolls, right? You got the president's just a mouthpiece, really, right? There is people behind him, the generals, all the Congress, all them people, right? They have the agenda, and he's only following the agenda which is given to him, right? I'm sure he didn't intend to go to war when he was doing this little thing, but as soon as he got the seat, they say, here's the Rubio and them came to him and said, this is where we think the direction the country should go in. And bam, let's go. So if I was in his position, he's probably getting a lot of money for this, right? Millions of dollars, kickbacks from his party, right? And this is what they want, right? All his comrades are on board with it. But maybe not a couple that dropped down, but most of them, they want to take over. They want more power. They took Venezuela. They went in right.
But the issue is, Ruthless, that they are not gaining more power. They're actually gaining more pushback.
No, they're getting more power because they're gaining more power because they are getting resources. So now they got Venezuela, number one oil in the world. America has captured that. Now, what they want to do with Iran is get in their little resources. They want to get that. They want to manipulate that. So if they have that and Venezuela, they now have the keys to the world. It's a power move. It's a chess piece move. Has nothing. I understand. Hey, the gas price is high. So believe me, I'm feeling it. I drive a Beamer. You know that. But I'm saying is I understand war. I understand how countries who are great and powerful, I know how they operate. And I knew once Trump got elected, I said, Bush went to war. Bush Sr. went to war. I said, most likely Trump's going to go to war. And he went to war. And I was like, okay, got to cut my spending, be smarter, budget my money because I know gas prices. And this what comes with being a part of a great country.
Wow. I just don't like the fact that nobody want to have any kind of pushback for the proper people that we need to be pushing back against. I just think that
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You push back all you want to. They're still going to keep taking over the world.
So you don't believe this is a democracy. So you don't believe that this is a democracy.
It's never been democracy. Democracy is something that sold you guys so you guys can be at peace. When you vote, right, and all that stuff, listen, when Obama became president, he did almost nothing he promised. Nothing.
What you mean?
I was Obama raised my taxes. He told me he wasn't going to raise the tax of the poor. He was going after the rich. But then when he became president, he went after my taxes. At this time, I was working as a sous chef, and I see my check is literally cut 25%. I'm like, God dang, Obama, you hit me, baby. But I understand presidents lie to get the votes. That's what they do. They go in there.
That's crazy. So maybe it affected you personally, but when Obama was doing the damn thing, the economy was actually doing pretty well, sir. So like it could have affected everybody. It could have affected you personally in a negative way, but overall, it did not affect the country in a negative way.
Well, so everybody heard said they didn't like the business. A lot of blacks, whites didn't like Obama's presidency. They liked him, but they didn't like his policies.
So the problem is that even though they might say that verbally, but they really don't understand why they dislike him. They don't come with the policy that is hurting black folks. The real problem that they have, they say is that he haven't done anything for black folks, which is just, it doesn't make no sense. It's just actually a stupid point. But he hasn't done anything to hurt us neither.
But he lied though, right?
No.
Because he said
I'm pretty sure somewhere in his 8 years that we could find something that he was wrong about, and then we can.
We're gonna give a big one. Well, I'm gonna give you a big one. I'm gonna give you the big lie. His whole presidency was stable on, I'm going to bring the troops back from Afghanistan, Iraq, and he didn't bring one troop back. He said more. He said more. They didn't send out tell Biden.
Right. So what I'm saying is that like because he couldn't get something done doesn't mean that he lied.
Well, he knew he couldn't get it done before he said it. He knows that you just can't stop a war like that. He knew that, but anything to get a vote. Politicians,
right, that's all fair, all good. He had maybe his ambition was a little too big, but we can't say that he lied, right? We could say that he did not complete what he ran on. We could say he didn't complete the mission at hand, that he wanted to bring home troops or whatever the case is. So the problem is like, and it's nothing wrong with saying that he didn't complete a task, and we could all agree on the things that he did not accomplish, or he had to change up some things because the people that was against him said, no, if you want this done, you're going to have to give me a little of this for you to get a little of that. We could say, that's fine. So, and that was a long time ago. But the issue that I'm having today is that those same people that said Barack was so bad to black folks, they are not going to talk about what happened just 3 days ago to a black person. They're not going to say something that happened 1 year ago to a 4-star general, not even a full year to a 4-star black general. They're not going to talk about all of the beautiful young ladies that lost their job. They're not going to talk about that situation. They're not going to talk about the DEI situation that is, that destroyed a lot of situations. They are not going to talk about the things that are happening in recent times. That's the issue that I'm having with a lot of these goddamn black MAGA supporters that are not able to just communicate truthful things that are happening today. They always want to jump back to Barack or Biden instead of what happened just in 1 year.
Well, I agree with you. But MAGA is like what Trump's doing. Men And let me
Say
help
that
you
again?
out. The megas like what Trump's doing, obviously, right? Not
Damn.
but men, since this world has begun, right? Except you, Shot Titan. I know you switched up on the program, but they
No,
gonna do
just
what you
he's not
want.
moving like a conservative. He actually broke every. No, we ain't gonna do that one. I'm gonna stop you right there. No, everything he said, everything that MAGA stood on, he did the opposite. Hey,
So
we're not sending in more troops to another place. Hold up, because I'm gonna shoot this
I
down
agree.
bullet by bullet. Number one, we're not sending any more boots on ground anywhere. Not only did he do it, he sent boots, planes, and boats.
Damn.
So
Okay.
no, that's not a MAGA issue. MAGA is making America first. America first. Us being in Iraq is not America first now. When we took out the Hezbollah, absolutely fine. But everything that's happened since then, oh, we need to go in there and put boots on ground and do all this. That is not what we signed up for. That's not what we asked for. Number two,
Let me help you out.
fiscally speaking, we're in the hole. Yes, individually, we might be making slightly more. I'm making more, but I work overtime. But if you look at us as a whole, more people lost their jobs than get overtime. We're not making net tax. We're not making a net positive tax revenue, which again is a fiscal conservative thing. We're trying to get more money for the people who are working. Just like you can talk about Obamacare. Yeah, guess what? Obamacare is terrible for the working class. People who pay taxes or people who work, yeah, you get in debt playing with Obamacare. That's a real
Okay,
thing.
Shadow. Let me help you out. What I'm saying. What I am saying is this: since this world has since the world began, it's always been war. It's always been takeovers. This is the way of life, and a lot of Americans spoiled because he's bombing and all my money. No, you said a very delusional statement. You said put America first. He is putting America first because America, the corporation, because the Americans are the people, right? America is the country, the corporation. They have an agenda that they're pushing regardless of what the people are voting. Remember, it's the people, which are the Americans, and then America, the corporation, which is the business side of it, right? Which that's what Trump is. And they want to push for power and supremacy. And it is what it is. So he is putting America first. They are putting America first. Their agenda, the corporation, the one who took over this country.
Okay, so, but you initially said MAGA supported this. And again, if you actually look at MAGA's numbers, they are not.
Well, they low key, they like the power move. It looks gangster. People love gangsters. You know that. Everybody loves gangsters. Who doesn't love a gangster? You're more respected as a gangster than a coward.
Bro, first and foremost, most of MAGA is white, and most white people ain't talking about gangsters. Stop playing. That's black conservatives, and most black conservatives don't move like gangsters.
Stop playing. America's a gangster country. Wait a minute, hold up.
Stop. Look, if we're gonna have a real conversation,
don't
have
do
a
it,
conversation. But stop.
Sharon, don't do it. Sharon, America took. Wait a minute, hold up. America took this motherfucker, right? Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
$4.
That's $4 now. Yes, that's $4 now.
America took this country by blood. They came in warmongers. So they haven't changed. So
what the hell does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Nothing.
Because they're still going to war. They're still going to war, and they're taking shit over.
Okay, you want to talk about wars? Let's talk about war. Why did Bush go to war?
Because
they wanted quote unquote attack first, right?
They want
quote unquote attack first.
That was the.
I'm not going on conspiracy theories, right? I'm going on what we as Americans saw.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
We will take the resource.
So we got attacked. We responded, right? In this time, did Iraq attack us directly?
Iraq was.
He's talking about Iran. He's talking about Iran right now. He's talking about Iran.
Iran. Sorry.
That's
Iran? I mean.
Yeah, that's another. It's Iran and Iraq is the same thing.
Did either I attack us? Fuck it. I'll give you both of them. Which eye attacked us in the last 2 years?
None. I'm saying it's all a lie. We know.
Okay, so what? So why are we in Iran?
Because they want resources and power.
Great. Okay, I can understand that. Now I'm gonna ask you the question I asked you at first. If Trump said we're not putting boots on ground again in order to do that, why are there boots on ground right now?
Because
And
it was
and if so, how the fuck is that? You know, I'll pay you. How the fuck is that conservative? How is that MAGA?
yeah,
Which is
yeah,
one of the premises of MAGA.
sometimes the plan has to change. Sometimes you may have one plan, then you got a plan A, B, C, and D. Hopefully you just get to B. Go over there, bomb everything, take it. But if that doesn't work, they got a plan C, D, E, F, right? Put the boots on the ground, whatever.
Did Trump say we will stop the endless wars?
Yes. Of course he's gonna tell you what you need.
Is that a premise of MAGA? Wait, is that a premise of MAGA?
Well, I'm have to disagree. He didn't really say he's gonna stop pouring.
Yes, it is.
Wait a minute, let me say this.
Yes, he did. I'll pull it up to him.
Let me say this. Let me say this though, right?
Hold on, Ruthless. Hold on. If you're gonna say that Trump didn't say that, then you're wrong. So I'm just
no. He said it. No. He said it, but he didn't say it, right? Because a war on immigration. That's a war, right? So once again, right?
Bro,
so he kind of.
What soldiers are we using to stop him? Hey, stop that! Please don't assault my intelligence. Come on, bro. ICE is law enforcement, not soldiers. Sorry.
Yeah, Ruthless. We're not talking about. Hold on, Ruthless. We're not going to play semantics and say that the war on drugs or the war on immigration, the war on stupidity is the same thing as putting boots on the ground. We know what when he said he's not going to be in endless wars, what he was talking about. So let's not try to play semantics, please.
And he's actually.
It seems like maybe he's conceding to Shadow, but he don't want to actually just say the words. We know our brothers have an issue with that. Let Rufus think about what he just put himself into. Welcome into the show, Kulu. Good day, sir. How you doing?
I'm shooting Kulu right now. You ain't finna do that. I ain't finna give him.
Hold on, Shadow. Let me get this in. Hold on, Shadow. Let me get in. What's this, Rock? Before Shadow shoots me down, it just blows my mind, man, that people still support Trump. People still think that Trump is better than Kamala, just because of the propaganda that they were fed about Kamala. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. If she was president right now, we would not be in Iran. The Strait of Hormuz would be open. There'd be no tariffs. DEI and affirmative action would still be in place. All the jobs that were lost wouldn't have been lost. Things would just be better overall. You know what I mean? Yeah, she has a cackle. Yeah, people may not like her, but at least it's better than Trump. You know what I mean? Also, it just blows my mind that Ruth is up here trying to defend Trump because in reality, bro, like this economy is shit, bro. And Trump he's never been a good businessman. Like people keep saying he's a businessman. He's had over 7 for what's it called when bankruptcies and shit like that or something like that.
Yeah.
He's bankrupt. Yeah, he's bankrupting. He's whatever the fuck it's called. I'll pay you for that. This country right now, gas is at an all-time high, in my opinion. Food is at an all-time high, and I'm spending an extra $35 a week just in gas alone. And if you add that up per month, per year, that's over $1,200 that I'm spending a year extra in gas just because Trump wants to go to war because of Israel. Let's just call it what it is, bro. And Trump campaigned on no new wars, no foreign wars and shit like that. Now they changed it to no endless foreign wars. It's like, come on, man. They keep moving the goalposts. And before Shadow loads that trigger up, I want to say this, man. Because he be playing too much sometimes. But if y'all voted for Trump, man, just say that y'all messed up, man. Like, it's okay to say y'all messed up, and then next election, go and vote somebody else in. You know what I mean? Stop sticking to the same people that support Trump and doing what Trump says. Like, for example, he's trying to cancel elections right now. His last tweet last night, and then you got Louisiana governor is canceling their midterm elections because they're afraid of the midterm. So now they're trying to all redistrict their cities and their maps so that they can have more seats to avoid what's about to happen this November. You know what I mean? So if y'all don't see what's going on, then y'all are blind, man. Like, for real. Shadow, you gonna use your bullet, brother? There you go.
I don't know what's happening. I can't play my sound effects, but
Now, Shadow, you a total hypocrite. Shadow.
For Kulu being half right.
Shadow is a hypocrite.
Don't worry, I'm finna fix Jubila soon. I'm gonna bring Kulu back because Kulu was at least talking sense.
Hey, Shadow, you worse than Trump. You warmonger too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Except in this case. Because again, in order for me to support a war, the war has to make sense by the end.
No.
The end of this war doesn't make any sense.
Let me tell you something. Let me teach you lessons that you and Sharon. I want y'all to listen.
Hold up, you just called me a hypocrite, sir. We ain't finna play that game. So again, I'm gonna stand on what I said. Nah, sir.
I call you hypocrite because you
put that on my name.
You went to war with a man on this panel. So I'm just saying you're a warmonger too. So that's all I'm saying, right? So
we got a Dallas beef. We got a Dallas beef, and right now I'm texting. Right so, all right, what's up?
When you're part of a program, you have people over you. They make decisions based on the overall sentiment of the whole whoever's in charge, right? And all the decisions they make is not going to make people happy. Sometimes you just got to go with it, and that's called leadership, right? These things are not negotiable, and it's just the way it is, right? When you're part of something, sometimes they have a direction they want to take over something or do something, and it might cost you more money, of course, because you're paying for it. And I understand that, but this structure, this place has been doing this since the beginning of time. Since America was born on this premise.
No.
America was born on this premise. They came over here. Yes, they came over, taking people, taking them out, and take over, right? The Indians. So once again, America was born on the premise of war, and they've been in many of them, right? From the Vietnam to the World War II, whatever, or one. But I'm saying America has been and always will be until you guys won't be here. No, we'll be a war monger.
Slap. Shout out to Ty Walsh the football. Bring Kulu back and sleep ruthless. Lord. So it's 20. He ran away. He's scary. And you still owe me $4, Ruthless. Don't think we don't know. Yeah, but
sorry, I'm being a warmonger today.
Shout out to Kulu. Kulu, that was some bars that you were saying earlier, man. That was really interesting. I don't know why so many people are afraid to just be honest about what's actually happening. It is a very weird, wild, and interesting thing. They try to act as if what we were seeing, what we was telling them was going to happen. They tried to say we was, try to scare everybody. We was using scare tactics. That's what they told me in Kulu, in Bomb Cherry, and Brownsville, that we were just fear mongering people. That jobs is not going to be lost because he's such a great businessman. That these farmers wasn't going to lose their jobs and that it's going to bring groceries down. They said we was crazy for that. We said people were going to lose their jobs. They said it was crazy. Now, just 3 days ago, another big 7,000 people that lost their jobs. And now hopefully they are going to get picked up by other airlines. But we know for a fact that these other airlines do not have 7,000 jobs just waiting. We know that. We understand the UAE is flirting with the idea of trading with a different currency other than the US dollar. They said it out loud which currency it was. I was like, God damn, that's crazy. And if they was to do that, and they was to start to sell off all of their American assets that they have, we are in a world of trouble. Unless maybe they just want to talk about the goddamn Met Gala and talk about what dresses people had on.
See, Saran, what I'm worried about most is the redistricting that's happening, right? Because at least in Democrat states that are that are doing it, they're voting, like they're having a vote to do it. Florida just passed a law right now where they're going to redistrict without even asking their citizens if they want to do it. Texas, the same thing, right? California and Virginia all voted to redistrict, and the majority of their people voted yes. So,
Okay.
like, that's the problem that I have with
so let me
it.
ask you something cool. So you saying you don't mind the redistricting as long as the people voted for it. Is when they just get past the voting process and just redistrict their whole county, that's what you have an issue with.
Yes, all because Trump wants them to do it for more seats in the House and Senate.
So Aaron Toluca said it's always been redistricting. Has it always been without voting is the question, Aaron Tolucas. That's the question. That's what Kulu has a problem with. Not the fact that they are doing it because, you know, if they voted for it, hey, whoever's going to help them or hurt them, hey, we can figure that out later. But we should at least get a chance to vote. I believe it's happening in Georgia as well, too.
Yeah, you're going to see all red states do it because Trump is asking them to do it right before the midterms. You're going to see all red states do it, and then you're going to see all blue states do it in response.
Hey, cool. You know what's crazy?
What's up?
I guarantee if Trump was to figure out a way to do a third term, they'd be like, well, you know, it happened before.
Yeah, I mean, they're thinking about it. I mean, I saw a congressional hearing where they were asking him about Trump's third term, the Constitution, and none of his people would say that it's not in the Constitution. Like, they would not answer the question. So they're trying to find a way to do it.
They definitely trying to find a way. I think they believe war is one of the ways that they can do it. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? I think so. That's why they probably doing what they're doing with that. Oh, they might make him be vice president. Then they making attempts on president life so normal now. Hey, if he become vice president, you know.
Because that's the thing that gets me, bro. Is I low-key believe.
To be fair, that would give him a big old third term, like a constitutionally protected third term at least. So you probably shouldn't put that out there. People start planning for it.
Hey, he's trying to figure out a way around that. He's been fighting. He's been going against the Constitution since he came back in on his second term. He's been, you know what I'm saying, like, he's been doing some wild stuff. He been toting that line. He been very close to that line and crossing that line for the whole term so far. Was it like a year and a half now?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we ain't gonna put it past him that he's gonna try to get ahead and figure out a way, and the people gonna be like, well, that's gangster. That's what America is built on. It's built on gangster.
Yeah, and it's just crazy too, Shimon, listening to Ruthless, because it's like these MAGA or Black MAGA or whatever you want to call them, right? They hold or they grade Trump on a curve. You know, they hold Obama to a way insane higher standard than they hold Trump to. You know what I mean? And it just blows my mind.
And so it's just weird that, you know, now people want to say, well, you know, the people that has the power, they shouldn't be asking. They should just take it. They should just do whatever the hell they want. And then once people start doing it and it's not beneficial to them, they say, see, this is what they... We're supposed to hold them accountable to voting. We're supposed to get things done because of Americans said that's what they want to have happen, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. We're supposed to be voting on those things. We're supposed to be putting people in place and say, hey, what you running on? Oh, you on getting this bill and that bill done? All right, that sounds like a good, all right, we're going to vote you in so you could go ahead and get that done. That's what we're supposed to be all about. Is getting things done for the people. That's going to help all Americans. Somehow that plot is missed, especially with Donald Trump being in office. I don't know, because is he that smart that he made everybody stupid and they can't see the writings on the wall? What is this? Like I don't like I think I don't know. I think he's good for what he's good for. He figured out ways to be in the media. He is great at figuring those things out, but we cannot say he's great at being. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. I think the Republican media and the use of social media, they definitely propagandize Democrats. Like, they made Democrats seem like they're evil, that they want to, turn boys into girls and things like that. Like, they were very successful at programming that into people's minds, like the average person. When in reality,
to be
that's
fair,
not
if you watched it, it did happen. Like, you don't have to program something; you're literally seeing in statistics.
how so?
Simple, but let's talk about the turning boys into girls thing. Literally, there was a giant uptick in children ages K through 12 identifying as other during both of those administrations. Absolutely, bro, that's a thing. Hell, even Obama literally got the best thing he did was for the LGBT community. And I say the best thing because it's the thing that didn't have a net negative to it. Or net negative for everybody else. Most people, it didn't matter to them. But for who it did matter to, the net negative of the LGBT getting married didn't affect most people. So, but Obamacare actually hurt working class people.
That's crazy. That's wild.
I mean, you can literally look at the tax numbers for it. You can literally look up the tax numbers.
So wait, so you're denying that more people got access to healthcare underneath Obamacare?
Hold on. Just because you're getting more access to it doesn't mean it's fiscally responsible.
Hold on.
No.
More Americans have access to proper healthcare? Or
everybody who's working getting taxed 5 times as much for it? Yes. That's ludicrous, bro.
That's
Do you
something
understand what a
$6,000?
Hold on. Do you understand what a $6,000 tax bill looks like to someone who does not make that much? Somebody only making $18,000, they don't see anything whenever that tax return comes in because they're still in debt. They're still in debt at least $800. So I understand what you're saying, but
so we're okay with our tax money going to police as like a social program, going to the fire ambulance, roads, but we're not okay for our money to go to help people be healthy in this country? Like, that blows my mind, bro. Like, you should want your fellow Americans to be healthier because they will live longer, they'll have happier lives, and that will actually help the country and the economy long term.
But in practice, that's not how it panned out. I can admit that even when I initially saw Obamacare, I kind of supported it. I get it. But in reality, it did not turn out the way that you think it does. And even what you're saying, you're wanting us to be more socialist about it. Cool. I can respect that, bro. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, if everybody who's working 30, 40 hours a week is now paying more for people who don't want to work to have health care, that's not even a balanced trade, much less a fair one. Because people who are working got penalized for it. That's the thing you're skipping now. They were penalized. They're paying back taxes on that, homie.
So you're okay with our money going to bombs for Israel and other things, but you're not okay for our money to help people in this country, whether they have a job or not, when it comes to health?
I care more about people's individualized health, or do it?
Like, that just blows my mind until he gets back. It's just like, I thought MAGA was about America first, Americans. So why not use our tax dollars to help out every American, not just ones that are rich, that are the middle class, but poor as well. Like, we should want to help out the poor when it comes to healthcare, because eventually those people will be working jobs. Those people will be the next up in line when it comes to politicians, creators, entrepreneurs. Like, you should want a healthy country.
So I need to explain the thing that me and you are not saying. There's a difference between wanting to help your fellow American and penalizing ones who are working in the process. If we were able to do, hey, you can get in. You get it. It's on the you can penalize it, right? You can help Americans without having to penalize the people for making the choices that they have. You don't know. That's where me and you are seeing it differently. You're saying those penalties are worth it. I'm saying it's not. I'm saying
the money is already being spent. No, Josh, I'm saying the money is already being spent on bullshit. Other countries to help them out when we should be helping out Americans when it comes to health, our road, our own companies. Like, it's already being spent, like whether you like it or not. So why not just have it allocated for healthcare to Americans so that we don't have to pay $500 in healthcare a month, and we can use that for savings or for a car or something to actually help our lifestyle?
By putting the lower working class Americans in debt, that is not a positive thing, bro.
We're already in debt.
Hold on. No. Kulu, I know what I'm saying is very clear, and I don't know why you're being obstinate. My point is super simple. It's one thing if we're using already obtained taxes, meaning people didn't get a refund at all, right? Net zero. That money was used for the healthcare. Fine, I would have supported that. But when that middle class or lower middle class got penalized for it, I don't support that. That is not helping Americans as a whole. That's helping a subsection of Americans, not them as an entirety. You're literally penalizing some so you can help others. That doesn't make sense. And penalty is because they're getting negative.
Okay, so we're already being penalized already with money being sent to other countries doing bullshit. Bombs, missiles, their defense, our troops in other countries, things that we could take the money and send it back home and use it on healthcare, use it on potholes, use it on things that can actually benefit the American family. You are
arguing against that. Well, how?
All right, so hey, Shadow, how much people was penalized? Like, how much were they penalized?
Would you like me to get the exact numbers per class bracket?
No,
if
no,
so,
you don't have
I
to
need
give
a few minutes.
You don't have to give the exact number. Just give what you kind of have an understanding.
I think on average it was like either $800 to $900 in IRS debt, and there were cases where I think depending on if you made below a certain amount, it kind of balanced itself out, but then it ate the entire refund, including the child tax credits that people had gotten. And even the child tax credits, unless you had 3 kids, didn't make up for the affordable care that you had to pay because they had to send you a whole nother tax form.
All right, so the problem is with the penalization of the conversation, right? So it was no federal penalization of this whole situation. So a few states did have it, and it's like what you said, around like 600 to I think roughly 900 was the tops, somewhere roughly around there. So they still, the people that was getting money back from the government, they still got money back from the government because the federal check is the bigger check any goddamn way. So yes, they did. Some people did, and I believe it was on like 5 local states that actually did what you're talking about. I believe it was Jersey, California.
Sean, give me a second. I'm gonna pull up there.
I can't think of the other ones. I'm like you right now, right? So I can't think of the other ones, right? So it's California and Jersey for sure. They did some penalties, but it wasn't a federal penalty. So still, people were able to get money back from the government and things of that nature. So it's not as bad as you are presenting it right now. So that's the only reason why I
get where you're coming from. I need to pull up the actual tax form that showed the amount you owed per month. Like there's an actual name for it because a lot of people were prohibited from even filing their taxes unless they also included that because it showed what they owed for the Affordable Care Act. I just don't remember the exact number right now. And like I said, I'm obviously on the highway. So I can't, once I'm stopped, give me about 15 minutes and I'll pull it up for you. But it was a federal form specifically for the federal IRS.
Yeah, the federal, it was no penalty for the federal though. It was only by states. It was only for the state.
Sean, the only reason I'm speaking on it is because I actually had to help people with this scenario. Like I know it sounds like I'm just speaking, but no, I know what I'm talking about because I've actually seen the forms on multiple occasions. I
Okay.
just can't think of the number. And like I said, give me a little bit. Let me finish these last two after I get off the highway, and I'll go ahead and get it to you.
And no problem. And Java, what you mean Hawaii got hit hard? What they got hit with? I'm not sure what Hawaii got hit with. I'm out the loop of that one. What did Hawaii get hit with? Does anybody know what Hawaii got hit with? Kulu, do you know?
No.
Yeah, man. And I think it was a fire. Damn. They got hit with a fire? Oh, the Affordable Care Act penalties. Okay. Thank you, Java. So Hawaii get hit with a lot of stuff. Oh, God damn it, Hawaii. Shit. So California, Hawaii, and Jersey for sure. I know that now. So I just don't think that I just don't think they give, for whatever reason, as of lately, it seems like Kulu that men do not give the Democrats a fair shake strictly because they believe that is the female side of the political party. That's what it's starting to feel like to me now. It doesn't feel like they actually care about policies and politics and what they actually are attempting to do. They're more concerned about what that side looks as. You're a liberal. What the hell are you talking about? Like, what is that supposed to mean? Then I'm a liberal. I don't even understand.
It's the 1095. The 1095 form is what people end up having to actually pay if they didn't, like whatever you had to pay depending on how many people were on the plan. I'm reading it as we're speaking. So there's the 1095A, 1095B, and 1095C. Each of those actually held different standards of what you owed for quote unquote purchasing the Affordable Care Act. Keyword purchasing it. If you had the ability to have private insurance through your employer, it was a 1095A, and you would pay between $495 and $895 per month for the Affordable Care Act. B, if you were under a certain price range but had children, you only had to pay between $125 and $325. So like it breaks it down step by step.
Okay.
So the reason why I called it a penalty is because, let's say because you refuse to get it, do the healthcare through your job. Like where I work, I can get health insurance through the city. But I also, if I choose not to do that, now my insurance company also has to penalize me if I don't accept the ACA as well. If I chose to get my own private insurance, then there's an entirely different fund for that. That's why I said people were being penalized for it. But yeah, it's the 1095 form. Like it breaks it down by the month of what you owe. And you are right, that does vary state to state, but it's a federal 1095. So it actually affects your federal income tax.
Yeah, and then also they ended that penalty, I believe, on 2019 as well, too, for the federal.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think in the first couple of years of the ACA, it was decent. But once the penalty phase started, it started affecting most working class people in that scenario. So, like I said, I'm okay with people getting healthcare, you know. But what I'm saying is, don't give us healthcare. Don't provide everybody else healthcare, where now everybody who's working every day has to now pay more for that. That's an entirely different scenario. Because we're now being penalized because we can't make our own free market choices. And that doesn't make any sense.
Well, pretty soon people ain't gonna be able to make their free market choices on goddamn gas and how they're gonna be able to move around. They're gonna probably do some new kind of name for it. They ain't gonna call it martial law. They're gonna call it something else. They're gonna be like, hey, how much gas did you get this week?
Hey, Uber and Lyft are increasing rates for that.
They're gonna say we gotta ration out this gas. You only allowed 27 gallons a week.
Hey, Uber used to do only $1.50 for every like food delivery, regardless of where it was, and you get your full tip. Now they're like, no, we're not letting people refuse the tip to you now because people are losing too much in gas and they were losing drivers. They lost 25,000 drivers just because they couldn't afford the gas anymore.
So not only did Spirit Airlines had to close their shop because they couldn't afford because of gas. Also now is also affecting the what would you call that market?
The rideshare market.
Rideshare market as well because of gas. These are the things that I have a problem with my brothers and sisters that are not paying attention to these things. It doesn't just Spirit Airlines going down is just the beginning of something that could be catastrophic. And I need my people to start seeing the writings on the wall so we can pay attention. So like what Kulu is talking about, we got to pay attention to redistricting. We got to pay attention to our Spirit. What other industries is going to be affected by these small margins that can end a whole business? Something as simple as just ride shares is going to go up. So first of all, they got rid of the cheapest airline. So now people that was attempting to go see families and go see other places of United States to fly them, you can't do that at such a cheap price anymore. Also, gas is up. You can't be just driving across the country the way how you used to be 20 years ago. Also, now your Uber ride and all that, that's going to even be more expensive. It was already ridiculous in price already. Do anybody in the panel know how much is a 30-minute Uber drive in a regular car? Can anybody give me an answer to that by any chance? What you think that is?
Yeah,
Like
it's between
$35, $50?
No, it's between $15 and $30 depending on the length of the ride.
You said $50 and $35?
No, between $15 and $35. I think the lowest ride the lowest ride I've seen in the last 2 weeks was like $7 and some change. And the highest I've seen was like 48. But I was taking it from Dallas to Fort Worth.
And that's how long of a drive?
About 45, 46 minutes.
That's expensive when you really think about it.
and I drive a truck.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey. So if jet fuel is the issue for Spirit, what happened the other times they went bankrupt? What makes you say that it wasn't jet fuel then too? Because the margins is very thin. The margins always been very thin. And the one way how they try to play with the margins is by getting people on a flight for cheap and make them pay for everything else. So therefore, it's always been the jet fuel was their issue. That if everybody just bought a ticket and just rolled on there with a goddamn carry-on with no wheels on it, then guess what? That jet fuel just costs more than the goddamn flight. Because ain't nobody wanted to buy no soda, no water, or anything else. I think it's hard to say that 34 years is a bad model. It's hard to say 34 years is a bad model. It's just wild for me to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Hey, I just did an Uber check to see how much it would cost me to ride from my current location to the main city. It's about 11. So it says it's 11 miles, and it would cost me $15.47.
And how long would that ride be?
It's a 13-minute ride.
That is insane.
So it's about $1 a minute.
That's crazy. And people don't think that's bad? That's expensive. Do you think that's expensive?
Yeah, but it balances out with during overtime. Or not during overtime, during rush hour. during rush hour because you're still getting charged for the distance, not necessarily for the amount of time you're stuck in traffic.
I just
And
think
I saw
that,
somebody in the
listen,
comment made the comment, I make more in the city than I do with Uber. Actually, no, I actually make more in Uber because I make about $28 an hour driving Uber. And I make 25 in the city.
Hey, Shadow, you want to ask me how much it costs for a 30-minute ride where I'm at?
71.
It's about like
Yeah,
it's about like $4 or $5.
yeah. Which translates to?
No, it's like $4 or $5.
No, I know, which
30.
translates in wine.
That's 28 won.
I was off. I was off a little bit.
28 UN. That's what they call it. It's not called wands. It's called UN.
It's UN. Yeah, the W is silent.
Yeah.
No,
but so you know what I'm saying? So like, hey, listen, people want. Hey, look, they gotta figure this thing out. They keep thinking that it is just simply Spirit Airlines bad business model, which is a factor as well, right? Spirit can have some bad business ideas and a bad business model. However, they bad business model kept them afloat for 34 years. It wasn't until this whole situation with the Strait of Hormuz that got them shut down. That is just a fact that nobody can just negate. They literally closed down because of the Strait of Hormuz. So regardless if it was a bad business model or not, until that happened, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and it's possibly going to break some more backs. Because
to be fair,
more expensive, right? Because like now that the truck drivers, they're gonna have to charge more because what? They gotta spend more on fuel. Like everything is going like this idea that is only Spirit is my issue, that people are only want to make it seem as if it's just a single issue, that it is just a Spirit Airlines issue. This is not just a Spirit Airlines issue. It is much bigger. The consequences are going to be much bigger than that if it keeps tracking in this trend that we are in. That's what I'm saying, is that we need to pay attention to the trend and track it properly and not act that as is if this is an isolated issue with just Spirit Airlines.
But Sharon, most people don't understand logistics. So you're saying, oh, well, everything's going to cost more because the truck driver has to pay more. And then that means they have to pay more in the shipping. Then that means the distributors have to pay more for the truck driver to go. You're explaining logistics to a lot of people who don't understand what logistics looks like. They're just like, logistics is food goes from Walmart to my plate.
And look. And they, you know what else they don't understand, Shadow? You know how the Japanese got their cars over to the America in the first goddamn place?
I thought it was through boat. They did the boat channels and to California.
It was through raising gas prices.
Huh.
Did you know that, Shadow? Because America's it's like, why the hell we want this little ass Honda Accord when I got this big ass Chevelle doing 390? Like, why
Dodge Challenger.
Yeah, like why do I want this little ass thing that could barely hold my family? I could barely fit in the car. And it only have 100 horses where I got a big old 392 block that got 300 horses in it.
But look, we know some great Americans that have 100 Accords.
So the thing is, what they ran on, Shadow, is that the smaller the compact car is better on gas. And so people's like, oh, I could save money on gas if I buy this car. And that's how they got the Japan market over to us. They made a deal with Japan to get their car market over here, so we raised gas prices. So I wonder, Shadow, what country you think is doing a crazy job that's gonna that could possibly affect the car market with cheaper cars?
China.
People are not recognizing the play. They did this kind of play before.
Hey, Sharon, I'm not gonna be that guy, but I'm gonna go ahead and say, you might want to send some Chinese cars over here. Get your little foot in the ground. Be like, hey, I got the best Chinese car market in America.
Hey, listen, some of their cars is absolutely phenomenal. I'll tell you that. If they figure out a way to get those things over here without the tariffs, it's a wrap. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. If those cars come over here without no 100% tariff, it is a wrap. Shout out to Joe Biden for recognizing the writing on the wall. He's seen those cars. He said, oh, hell no. Listen, those Ford Mustangs, and they ain't going to be able to compete with those things, man. You know what I'm saying? He knew Dodge is not going to be able to compete with those things because the price is just ridiculous. Aaron Tolucas with the 5-board. JetBlue may have debt, but they are still liquid. Also, they're more likely to get bailout. They've never been bankrupt before and have better management. Hey,
he's technically not wrong.
I hope that remains true.
I mean, I'll give him that. He's not wrong.
Yeah, and I just hope that remains true. You know what I'm saying? Because if another airline,
but Sharon, remember when Southwest was about to go under?
Okay.
So Southwest was going to go under for the same reasoning, but then the bailout actually saved Southwest. They changed some of their policies. They started doing better, and then they started making stupid ass policies that's making them lose money. Like bad management can ruin the business faster than anything else.
Okay. I just want people just to see, you know, the bigger pictures and just pay attention to everything that's happening and not just get so caught up in the isolation of things. Man, listen, they know how we would act if we all had to stay in the house. They are making it easier for the rich to move around the country, and they're making it more difficult for normal people to get around in the country. Going from New York to Miami is not affordable anymore. It used to be that you could just hop in a goddamn RV and you could drive across the goddamn country in the summertime. That shit is not going to happen. That's also going to harm the RV market as well. People are not paying attention to how much these things actually affect industries. It's about to be summertime when we drive the most. It's going to affect the beaches. It's going to affect beach towns because people ain't going to want to drive to those beach towns and go to those goddamn boardwalks to eat a goddamn beef burger that's going to be now $50 for a regular beef burger. Because beef is so goddamn expensive. Say that again?
It's going to be made of chickpeas. It's going to be made of chickpeas now.
But you understand what I'm saying? So like people are just not recognizing all the things that can possibly really happen. They are not really, they are too okay with anything that is deemed as black people benefiting off of to go down in the dirt. So since Spirit Airlines is considered a goddamn soul plane situation and a ratchet airlines, and that is the cheapest airline, so therefore that means that it's no good. That's the problem. They don't mind. Hey, look, man.
It's like I said, I don't think the cheapness of Spirit was the problem. It was the fact that the management didn't maintain the fact that, hey, just because we're a cheaper line doesn't mean you can come acting out. You still have to follow FAA regulations. You still have to act appropriately on the plane. People having parties on a Spirit airline is kind of what caused the issues. Like people literally being crazy on the line and the airline not doing anything about it. They had a lot of social media fluff too. Like I think Spirit Airline was part of a social media knockoff. Because if you put enough money behind Spirit or the fall of Spirit, you've made a lot of money in the last couple of days.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I know a couple of people put some took their money out of a couple of politicians seen that Rhino War made a killing.
It made a
Hey.
killing.
Hey. But you know, for some reason it's okay when it happens to the poor folks. If something happened to poor folks, people be okay with it, which is just weird to me. Just like with these whole redistricting counties, a lot of the redistricting of counties is affecting poor people. It is going to affect them the most. And again, people act as if, well, they don't have no issue with it. All right. Y'all keep not having an issue with nothing that's happening. Keep having a blind eye to everything that's happening. It is wild for me to see that people are just saying okay to every goddamn thing. They're okay with the gas prices. They're okay with the war. They're okay with companies that have been around for 34 years that have 7,000 employees to just close down. And now we have 7,000 new people without jobs. I don't know. I don't know what
I
they
think
think.
we're not moving in a positive direction fiscally. The more people who lose money, the less tax revenue we have coming in. The less tax revenue we have coming in, the less we can actually help the country as a whole. I think losing this many people in the workforce is bad for the economy. But that's just basic finances. The less money we have in, we're not getting enough in tariffs, we're not getting enough in taxes. Eventually, we're going to keep going into that net negative. And that's what's dangerous. Like I said, if Trump was able to turn it around, maybe he'll regain my support. But the issue is everything he said he ran on, the reason I voted for him, he went against. I can't support you when you're going against everything you said you were going to do. Keep in mind, I was okay with turning Iran into a glass desert. But when we didn't do that, and we decided to fight for the next 3 months, I was like, look, if y'all aren't going to stop the game from becoming a war, we could have stopped the whole war from even being a war. I could. Call me a monster, but at least we're not in a war. It's dead. Dead, over, moving on. But now we're like, no, we're just going to go fight and we're going to start throwing more soldiers at it. Wait a minute. Whoa. You said you wouldn't do that, and now you are.
I wonder if Chicago really got some time so he could tell us the significance of the Supreme Court ruling to Section 2 on the VRA of 1965, and how it was foretold in Project 2025. We understand that. So I wonder, hopefully, maybe Chicago really has some time, or maybe Detroit, or somebody that is really versed in exactly how this is an impact to our community, because I don't think a majority of people understand how Killer Mike was wrong, how Aaron Two Lucas is wrong about the redistricting. I don't think a lot of our Black brothers understand how important it is that these things are happening. Like it's. But maybe I'm the only one that's crazy enough to believe that. Maybe I should be talking about, I don't know, Meg Thee Stallion or the Met Gala. You know what I'm saying, Shadow?
You mean about The Rock wearing a dress or wearing a skirt at the Met Gala? Like this?
The Rock had a kilt on?
The picture's right there.
Let me see. Hold on.
It said, "Real men wear skirts," unquote.
Let me get me one. I'm gonna get me one.
Yes, Sharon. When you do that, you're gonna have to come on camera, and I need you to go and have a conversation with Angry Man and Fatty, and say, "Real men wear skirts. What's up? Let's fight."
Absolutely, because ain't not man one of them gonna say anything about The Rock doing that. Not man one of them. None of us gonna talk about how Adrian Broner tried to throw it back on Dean the Great. He literally tried to dance on the man and throw it back on the man on the live stream.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Uh-huh. Shout out, the man was on the live stream. They was dancing. They moves was looking a little suspect. Homeboy bent over and threw it back on homie. He's like, yo, what you doing? And then guess what? Guess what Dean the Great wound up doing after he screamed on him? Guess what he did after?
Gave him a lap dance, attempt him.
No, he said, I ain't gonna front. That ass is kind of fat though.
No.
Yes, he
Sharon,
did.
you better not be lying on these grown men on
Yes,
your
he
panel.
did. That's what the man did. I'm proud. If I wasn't going through all this goddamn internet issues, I'll play right now. I'm gonna play it tomorrow though. I'm gonna play it just for Shadow so he can see that I'm gonna show Shadow hashtag SNL. God damn it. The Chicago Real with the $5 support for the man Clave. Right on time, right? We got Adrian Broner throwing it back on Dean the Great, and Chicago Real want to support the goddamn man Clave.
Hey, Chicago, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that into a bunch of ones. We got to just man, Sharon, you can't be serious, bro. Come on.
Yo,
Like, so women, so they're saying women aren't dancing in clubs anymore. So now men need to start throwing it back. Stop.
Oh, it was in his private house too, by the way. It wasn't even in the club. That's
so you said, hold up, I'm done.
That's right. He was throwing it back on his brother. That's right. That's the craziest part to me. So the Rock could wear a skirt. Adrian Broner, he could go ahead and throw it back on somebody, on another man, and then they would try to act like I'm the one it's crazy. Aaron Toulouse with the $5. The good thing about this presidency is that similar issues have always been happening, but any other president, you would have ignored it. That is not true. I don't know why people would say something as crazy as that. Welcome to the show, Detroit Coalition. Do you believe that this was another president doing the same exact thing that we would have ignored it, Detroit?
I don't know about that. I think
it's a better question. I think what he's really trying to say, Detroit, if it was a Democrat president doing the same exact thing, would me and you be ignoring it?
I wouldn't. I don't think you would either. I think most people it is flagrant regardless, so it's going it's going to catch your attention regardless, I believe. So but I think I've thought this already for the last decade, but that both sides that people talk so much, has come out to be invalid this whole time anyway, which we already knew it was. Because, when we start talking about rights, right, there's only been one party that's been fighting to pull your rights away. It's only been one. So that both sides argument never really existed, but it needed to for the side that was pulling the play. Right? They needed to make it seem like everybody's the robber. Meanwhile, they, at the drawer, taking money right out of that cash drawer. I was, you brought up, I know Chicago Real put in there about the Voters' Right Act, and you asked one of us to come up. I'm honestly, I'm not going to be great at explaining it, but in the back chat, I put a link. I don't know if you can react to like Jon Stewart, but he had this professor, Sherilyn Ifill, who is a civil rights, I think, attorney and professor. But he had her on and basically asked the same questions that you basically asked us. So she did a really good job of explaining it, and especially Section 2, because Section 5 of the Voters' Right Act, I believe, was the section that allowed where you could bring a case without proof that there was actual. So like when we talk about racially motivated laws or anything like that, you know, you have to prove that this is something that is going on. Now, most people that are doing racist things, they don't come out and say overtly that they're doing this because they want to affect black people, right? They'll, you know, put it under some kind of other coat or something like that. But the I think Section 5 allowed where even if it affected black people, because you know how this country started and where we came from, you know, the section allowed you to bring a case to court and you could just show how this, they didn't have to say that this was a racist policy or racist gerrymandering or whatever you bringing in, whatever case you're bringing in. You just had to prove that it actually had an impact. So when we talk about redistricting, like, or gerrymandering different districts or whatever, you could have brought a case and you didn't have to have proof that these people are trying to hurt black people. You just had to show that it affected black people. It disenfranchised black people. So that provision had already been wiped away because of Section 2. And that was what the justices were trying to say, I guess, maybe like a decade ago, was that don't worry about Section 5. We don't need Section 5 anymore because Section 2 of the Voters' Right Act is nationwide and it's all the protection. And that's what the young lady's going to talk about. The professor, she talked about in there. So I don't want to go too far into detail because I'll be sitting here just BS and like some people be doing on here. But there was a professor who actually broke that down. So I did put it in the back chat. I don't know if you can react to that, but she explained it pretty significantly and how these things have been chipped away at over the last 60 years and how they were even implemented, you know, 120 years ago now, you know, because of how racist this country was and how much black votes didn't count and your voice wouldn't have been heard. But I thought it was really good as far as the that interview. I think that'll be very insightful for everybody.
So is it a Supreme Court opinion that we're looking at? I think you stepped away for a second.
No, this was the decision.
No,
so she's breaking
that. Wait, Detroit. When I say opinion, I mean the decision. I just used the official phrase. Sorry.
That's okay.
But, so is there an official, like, is there Supreme Court opinions on this? Like, is it already on Pacer?
Yes, 6-3. It was passed. It was voted last week.
Right. Is it available on Pacer so I can pull the entire?
I'm sure it would be. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Just because I want to read the opinion, just because I'm interested in it.
Yeah, and it really is.
What were the dissents like?
Well, the dissents were, you know, pretty much that this was, you know, a gut punch to the civil rights movement. I heard she's going to talk about it in that video, okay. But think about like how oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I can't think of her name, but she passed away. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth Bader Ginsburg had a quote. Yeah, she had a quote that said that them stripping away Section 5 was basically like taking an umbrella that's kept you dry, and because you're dry, you throw the umbrella out even though it's still raining. So basically, you know how people would say like racism doesn't exist anymore, all these people have all this, and we got it's the same thing just from the Supreme Court, and it has to do with voting rights. So what can happen in these cases is, and she also touched on how the last decade, how all these states have been trying to implement these voter ID laws and stuff like that, and how that's a direct correlation to some of the judgments that SCOTUS has been deciding on with the Voters' Right Act. So they've been stripping away these key pieces of the Voters' Right Act, and they've been doing it for decades. Like John Roberts is the Chief Justice now, and you know that was one of the cases I think that he was on when he was in Reagan's administration in the 80s. So this is just like the fruition of something that he's been, you know, fighting for and being silent about. That's the other part too, is that, you know, sometimes when you hear justices opinions and things like that, they know who their audience is. So they're not sitting here going, let the cat out of the bag and let you know that how racist the policy is, because they know it's not popular, right? So they, say certain things when they're in certain discussions and things like that. But ultimately, look at their voting record and look at what they actually are signing off on. And same thing with other politicians, which it sucks that we got to consider our judges politicians now, but that's what I guess they've always been. And just some people keep their politics out of their work. But yeah, the actions, people's words and everything. And even like when we talk about Trump, people's words are one thing. The actions are what you need to value. So, Trump been talking for 40 years now. You know what I mean? So it's nothing. It's sad. I'll just say that this is sad because you got people like my parents' age that were teenagers when the Voters' Right Act was passed, and they grew up in Mississippi. You know what I mean? So these things really did affect them. And, you got so many black folks that just either don't care, don't know, I guess like the boys in the hood, they either don't know, don't show, don't care about what's going on in their own community. And Sharon has got that spirit internet too over there, because we done lost him, huh? Let me ask you this, Shadow, if you're still there. What do you think was the main policy that you expected from this administration that you haven't gotten?
One of my biggest policy things that he talked about but has not gone through is the financial support for IVF, because I support, bringing in more life. And like I said, he said he wasn't going to pull funding from Planned Parenthood, and that's fine. But now actually put funding towards planning for parenthood. And that hasn't even crossed the table, hasn't even had eyes batted at it. So I'm kind of in my body about that.
Because even that was to try and encourage people to have more kids, correct?
Right. That was to encourage people to have more kids.
Right. And, just from talking to young folks, I got, my kids are all like under 21. So, but just talking to them, people around their age and people like my coworkers too that are younger too. A lot of them is the economy was the main reason why they do or don't want to have kids. You know what I mean? Like, if you're trying to have a kid in this environment right now, right? Like when they're babies, that's one thing, right? Your kids are babies, it's pretty cheap, right? Like looking back, clothes, food with babies and young and toddlers and stuff like that is cheap. But just think about like school and now getting your kids to school if you do drive and they're not like busing to school or something like that. Transportation, right? Transportation costs more. The food that you have to feed these kids, because as they're getting older, they can eat more and they need more and everything like that too. So even that food costs more. So that would seem like it was the biggest thing. And getting like a payment from the government, or how can I put it? Helping people with fertility, because that's what the IVF drugs would be, right? That
right.
That wouldn't change the fact that the cost of everything don't go up.
No, but as I was saying, I think because the child tax credits was supposed to go up, people actually they'll receive government assistance effectively for having the kids that the country's needing at this point. Kim had mentioned that women aren't even able to get effective health care, which again, I can't really speak on that not being a woman, but from the women in my life and the ones that I see, they're getting effective health care that's tailored to them, I guess. But I can't speak for all women, so I'm not going to.
I understand.
But I think there is a stark difference between, like, with what they did with the food stamps. I didn't really like how that went, because there was no real necessity to change the food stamp program. I understood they were trying to prevent the mass fraud that's been going on, that everybody in the hood knows, hey, there's people who go sell their food stamps. There's people who do apples and oranges. That, you know what I mean? Like, I get that. You're trying to make sure that this whole thing is set. But he then took Michelle Obama's food plan and amplified it for the entire country, which didn't make any sense because he did it without understanding that as you get older, your dietary needs are going to change from when you're 10 and when you're 30. And it's not also, it was weird to me because it seemed unnecessary. So I wasn't a big fan of the food stamp change. I like that they were trying to figure out a way to extend Social Security for people, but even that was a failed attempt. You know what I mean?
All right, I know what you're saying. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, Shadow.
No, you're good, bro. Like I said, I actually agree. As time is moving, as these next 2-3 years, like, I put my vote in because I know who I believed in. Because out of the two options that were there, I could at least see what Trump was saying his plan was. I could not see a policy plan for Kamala Harris. So regardless of what side of the fence I was on, I couldn't have supported Harris just because I didn't understand what her policies were going to be. I've never been able to understand her policies, and everything I've seen on her has had a negative disposition in what I believe in. With that being said, what I had today, if I had to choose between Trump and Harris, I would have chose whoever the third option was.
Mm.
Which I think probably would have been the better choice at this point.
Because I think sometimes what gets missed too is that, so let's think about it like this. You you're not alone because, this is how he promoted himself, right? But Trump never came out with a exact plan of what he was going to do during his campaign, right? So a lot of things were just kind of what he planned on doing and things like that, right? But there were plans, like some of the stuff that you were talking about, those were plans, well, at least things that the Harris administration, Harris campaign did put out. So I think some of that stuff, and it may be too late to look at it now, but I think it might be worth looking at because a lot of those policies were things that, and I don't agree with everything that Kamala and Joe Biden did. Absolutely not. That's. I think anybody who sits here and like blanket wise just like supports any candidate or whatever are idiots anyway. But I believe there were definitely policies that you probably would have favored, right? Where even a third party maybe not have been talking about. I wanted to get to the super chat with Sharon back on. I don't know if you want me to read them or not.
Yeah, if you could, because I'm still trying to. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, so that's good. At least you can hear me now.
I think you already read Aaron Lucas' first one. Oh, the one on the screen. Okay. I got you here. Trump and Obama, Aaron to Lucas with the $5. Trump and Obama are pretty much the same, 80%, except personality and media coverage, especially in foreign policy and in immigration. Which, I mean, I could disagree with both. I know where the immigration lines get blurred is because of the numbers of people deported. Which, we've had that discussion before. So if you really want to go look at the numbers, go look at the numbers and see exactly how those numbers panned out. I think it's a little bit different than kind of what you're saying. But as far as foreign policy, there is no way you can put them two guys in the same boat. Not at all. If you just want to use JCPOA as one example.
Hey, Josh, you there? Because you brought up child tax credit. Do you know which party has had the highest child tax credit in America? Josh, you there? well, since you're not there, the Democrats under Joe Biden had $3,600 for children for newborns, and I think 2K to 3K for children under 18, right? And Kamala was offering 5,000 for newborns to 1 year old and 3,600 for children under 18. So if Kamala's policy on child tax credit would have produced more families. I'll say it again, Josh.
So hold on. I'll take what you just said as fact because I haven't seen it. But even if I include that as fact, one of the biggest issues we still have within that conversation is Kamala Harris was also vehemently in mass support of deletions, which again would counteract exactly what you just said. Like they were doing something. She was posting one policy that would support families and another one that was more specifically against having said family.
Not really. She's giving everybody a choice. Once you get every American a choice, whether you have a family and whether you want to have an abortion,
I don't know if I'm breaking up or if you're breaking up. I don't know if I'm breaking up or if you're breaking up. I'm not sure.
I think it's you, Kulu. I think you're breaking up.
Yeah, because I hear you clearly.
All right, let me move locations real quick.
Yeah, it's cooler because whenever you start talking again, it broke up again. Sean, are you trying to show us your skirt?
God damn it!
You can't be trying that the day after the 2 days after the Met Gala, man. You know it should be sold out right after that. You gonna have to go back later, bro.
I'm trying to get this computer to act correctly. There you go.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
okay, so that's just one. So as Kamala was giving people the choice, whether you wanted to have a family, she was going to give you the money that you needed to start that family and to help out your family. Or if you wanted to do an abortion, she was going to give you the option to do that, right? So every American would have benefited off that, whether you wanted, you know, a baby deletion or whether you wanted to have a kid, right? And then here's some more policies because you spoke about not understanding policy. So one of our policies were, right, is $20,000 for first-time home buyers, right? So the government was going to give a credit or loan to first-time home buyers. So that would have made myself and other people that's part of Gen Z able to buy a home or at least get into a home just based off that, right? The third policy, right, is if she was going to wipe away is medical debt off of credit cards, right? So any medical debt that elderly young people would have, you know, had on credit card debt, and she would have wiped it away so it wouldn't affect your credit history. Another policy that she was going to have, it was if she was going to put a cap on all like grocery prices so that you couldn't raise its grocery prices and we can keep prices down low. That's just four policies. I mean, I can keep going.
Trump did that in his first term. Medical bills, there were two other specific categories that were not even allowed to come on your credit report at that time. And if they were, they had to be removed by the major credit bureaus and the 23 minors. So hold on, while I can understand where you're coming from with that, that wasn't a her policy thing. That was something that happened during the First Step Act.
But is he doing it now? No, he's not. So I mean, I haven't researched what you said, so I don't know like if that's true. But I'm gonna just take your word for it. You know what I mean? So that's my problem is that if you just look at those four policies, I mean, I can name you a few more. Those are way better than what Trump is doing right now. Way better than what Trump is doing right now. Like imagine, right? Like imagine grocery stores couldn't raise their prices. So the egg prices that were 2 years ago, 4 years ago, when they were way lower than what they are today, we would still be at those prices today. Still at those prices today. More people would be in homes. More young people would be in homes today due to that $20,000 loan or credit for first-time home buyers. Like, come on, man. And more people would have more money, like when it comes to newborns, rather than the little $2,000 that they get underneath Republicans. And Democrats have had the highest tax.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, bro. But notice you're talking about a lot of money going out but none of that money's coming back in to support that. So while you got to understand, I listen to a lot of what you say, and there's a lot of things where I can hear what you're saying and see the social positivity in it. But the problem that I'm having with what you're saying is fiscally, it doesn't make sense, because that money has to come from somewhere. And you're going to be like, well, we can tax people who could do it. But those people
hold on. I would agree with you, Josh, only if Trump was doing exactly what you're talking about. He's giving more tax credits, spending more money than any animation has ever done, and he's not bringing in the amount of money to cover that, which is why the debt keeps increasing. And now what he wants to do is he wants Americans to pay off the debt. I don't know if you saw this, Josh, or Sharon or Detroit, but now he revised the program to where Americans can donate to the national debt. Ain't that the job of the government, to reduce the debt? Like, come on, man. Like I would agree with you if Trump wasn't doing exactly what you're saying.
And Trump's out of pocket. Trump's absolutely out of pocket. Absolutely. Trump is absolutely out of pocket for that. And again, I'm okay with saying that because I can see that math. I can see that, hey, I'm not going to donate to a debt that for some reason y'all keep putting debt on my name on shit that I don't support. But again, now when we look at it, even if I supported the war in Ukraine between Ukraine and Russia, right? Which, again, I was kind of iffy about that because we really didn't have any skin in that game.
Yes, we did.
Ukraine, hold on.
Yeah, we did.
Ukraine was an ally, right?
Well, and part of them lowering their or giving up their nukes, because remember, they had
the Ukraine deal.
Yeah,
right,
with
they
Ukraine,
gave up their nukes in order for protection. Right, I get that. So again, I get that. But now, when we gave up 100 million barrels of oil in our reserves, in at least 2 separate occasions, and now we're looking at today where our reserves are almost empty and we can't produce the oil because of the Strait of Hormuz, the very thing that we were building up for to protect, we had an entire political system intent on causing this very issue, and it was caused by both sides.
Nah, let's just call it what it is, bro.
Let's call it what it is. What is it, Google?
Yeah, Iran outsmarted the Trump administration. Let's just call it what it is. See, Trump thought that they were going to go in there and bomb it to smithereens, and they were going to give up, and they believed what Israel said about the uprising and shit like that. And Iran said, okay, we're going to hurt y'all a different way. Let's close this straight now. And now it's affecting his whole entire country, and it's affecting his political career and the future of the Republican Party, which is why now he has to cheat and try to redistrict every Republican state underneath a Republican governor to cheat the votes. Like, that's literally what he's doing right now, so that when Democrats get in office in midterms, they're going to take his ass out of office. If we win the House and win the Senate, we're going to take his ass out of office.
But even still, this battle wasn't about the oil specifically. This battle was supposed to be about the fact that they were increasing their nuclear capabilities, which they've come out and said, yes. Hold on.
Yeah, but Shadow, underneath Obama's
hold on, yeah.
It's underneath Obama's agreement, right? They only had enrichment 3%. As soon as Trump ripped that shit up because of Israel, they started enriching to 60, 70% as soon as they ripped that agreement up. So Trump should have kept Obama's agreement and they would still be at 3% today with inspectors still going up there and things like that.
I can support that. I agree with that sentence.
So it's Trump's bad leadership, and he's always done this. And 7 of his businesses, the casinos, all the other shit that he's done, he's made bad decisions that caused them shit to go bankrupt, and now America's going bankrupt because of his bad decisions. And now he's trying to stay in power, so he's trying to redistrict these maps without even allowing the citizens to vote for the shit. It'd be different if Florida was voting for it and they majority voted for yes, okay, cool. But they're not even doing that, bro. And then when Democrats win Virginia, all the MAGA influencers talking about, oh, they're trying to take over, this is wrong, but Texas did it first. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, man, like, let's just be real about what's going on here. Trump is a bad leader.
All right. Yeah. Now, I do agree with that. And his record is showing it right now. And that's the problem. Right now, everything that he stood on, he's not standing on. So now we're sitting here kept holding the ball for something that he said he wouldn't be. Most MAGA is because if you look at Trump's actual approval, it's sinking with all across the board because he's not doing what he said he was going to do. That's a problem.
But even, yeah, but he's not doing what he said he's going to do. But even if he would have done what he said he's going to do, it still would have ended up bad for America. Terrorists ended up bad for America. The Supreme Court had to shut that shit down, right? So like here's the difference, right? Like between like myself and most of MAGA, and sometimes you, Josh, right? I can say when Obama or Kamala or Obama did something bad. For example, right, in the First Step Jobs Act, whatever the fuck it's called, that he did in 2021, right? In 2027, that goes into effect to where now they're using AI in all the 2027 vehicles to where now they're monitoring you inside your vehicle. And if you're distracted, if you're impaired, if you're doing something that the AI picks up on, it can kill switch your vehicle or slow it down or turn it off and not allow you to use it. Right? So
wait, I read about that. That was designed to stop dangerous car chases. But they've been doing that since 2016. Even
but Biden signed that into law though, and to me that's wrong, right? They can use that for other reasons, right? Like if the government wants to kill switch your vehicle, like that's the exact same shit that Republicans were complaining about in 2020, is when we were going to electric cars or green new energy and the whole Great Reset, how they want you to own less and to constrict your travel and they want you to eat all these lab products. Like that's the same stuff now, you know, that they're passing now, and now Republicans are okay with. You know what I mean? So that's where I disagree with Biden. I disagree with Biden like a lot of shit, right? What Trump's doing by pulling our troops out of Germany, I agree with that. I think all of our troops should come home. That would save us money that we could spend here on the American people. You know what I mean? So I just think that you didn't do enough research into Kamala's policies, and any information that you did hear about her, like it was coming from people who were already biased and pushing those same propaganda talking points or narratives against her, and you didn't look at it from an open eye. You know what I mean? Because if you look at it from open eye, you can see how some of those policies could work. Yes, some things may have not worked, but a lot of those could have worked, and we would be in a way better position today than what we have today when it's like with Donald Trump the president.